Hey everyone, this is the Wargaming Guy, and I am here again after an hour of struggling with trying to figure out how to do this to show you classic Strategic Command World War II. Every time I do one of these older games, I have to mess around in OBS with the with how it displays. That's always the problem, it's the video. So here we go. In this game, you get 3 games. 3 games for the price, less than the price of one. For $20, you get Pacific Theater, Patton Drives East, Weapons and Warfare. So let's check out Weapons and Warfare first. I owned all these games in their original Battlefront condition, and so I picked this up today. Yes, I paid for it because I love these games, and I think you can't ask for more for your money than this. I mean, look at all this. Look at this, people. And even more. So, I mean, come on. This was the first add-on to Strategic Command 2. And, of course, the thing that you probably noticed, and if you haven't, you will in a second, is that on the map, there are no hexes. Yes, these are squares. You can see them. It does change how the game plays. And people either loved this or hated this, and I think most people hated it. But this is what SC went for through this whole series of SC2 and SC2 children, sort of, like Patton Drives East, Pacific Theater, Strategic Command Global. All those were based off the Strategic Command 2 design. And then, of course, with the current Strategic Command, what I call SC3 or Strategic Command World War II, that Matrix is putting out, we're back to hexes. So here you go. This is what it looks like. Here you go. And, of course, the map covers everything that you needed to cover in Europe to deal with this. Here's the French trying to get ready. Not much happening in Britain at the moment. And here's the poor Italians. So you can see that. Now, over here on the menu, you've got all of these buttons. This is next turn. And you can make, you can check and purchase units here. You can make the grid disappear. If you want to close, you can... do a little research, of course, just like you can always do in Strategic Command. This button switches you to the next menu, and this is the one where you can go to the next unit, or you can make units disappear. You can make the grid disappear if you'd like. And this is the quit button. So that's how the menu works in all of these games. Let me show you one more here. They do have the smaller ones, like Operation Cobra, as well. So let's just pick that. And just to show you what the map looks like, it's only 13 turns, so by SC standards, that's pretty slow. And you'll notice here on the jump map, you've got all of Normandy, not just the narrow confines of the American front, but you've got the British front as well. So it's actually, this is Operation Cobra, but it covers the whole front. So if you want to try and do something over here with the Brits, or if you want to, smash over here first, you notice that the map only gets you to Arvanches. So you're not going to be able to do much past that, but getting there in 12 or 13 turns is probably enough for you. So that's what that looks like. And let's see. You want to show you anything else? Well, let's take a look at the Battle for Moscow. Just so you can see what it looks like here. You got a nice little map there. Only 15 turns. And here you go. And once again, you've got the strategic map to move around. So this map's not that big. And there's Moscow. Whoa, pretty big. You can see the Germans. The Russians have dug in. A lot of fortifications, a lot of troops. Can you do it? Well, that's going to be up to you if you decide that you want to play. So that is... Weapons and Warfare. The maps are larger, a little more detail, with all kinds of specialized units that you can play with. A lot of fun. Now, the next one that I want to look at is, there we go, is Pacific Theater. Now, those of you that watch the channel much know that my father fought in the Second World War as a Marine. He was a Raider in the Pacific, and then he became part of the 4th Raider. He was in the 4th Raiders, and he became part of the 4th Marine Regiment, which ended up as part of the 6th Marine Division. So he fought on Guam and Okinawa, and actually was part of the occupation of Japan for a brief time before he came home. So I love the Pacific Theater, but there is a problem with this game, and I want to show you what it is. So we're going to take the Japanese side just so we don't have to, sit through an entire turn before we can do anything. Here we go. This is Japan, of course. Over here, you've got China. Now, this is a huge map. Look at the jump map here. You can go all over the place. You can jump over here. You can go over here. Here's Kwajalein, the Gilbert Islands, Fiji, New Hebrides, Cook Island. There's French Polynesia. Yeah, that's New Zealand. I'm trying to always get mixed up on this, but yeah, here's Guadalcanal. You'll notice that Guadalcanal and Tulagi are on the same landmass, which of course is not true, but on this scale, the kind of things you have to do, and that's the problem with the game. And all Pacific games have this problem. Here's Hawaii, and here's the Japanese carriers just waiting. And the problem is that you have this massive amount of space that you need to cover the entire Pacific War, the naval war, which is hugely strategic, the air war, the Chinese front, the India-China-Burma theater, which you have right here. Yeah, here we go. There's India. Over here, here's Myanmar or Burma. There's Myitkyina. There's Impal, Kohima, however you say that. Yeah, Kohima. And but the problem is how do you, on this kind of a map, model the kind of warfare that took place with, I'm trying to find Iwo, which is right here. Well, you can't. There's 4 tiles or squares, whatever you want to call it. And there's no way that on a big strategic map you can adequately model the kind of tactical, just in-your-face kind of warfare that you had in the Pacific, where forces were, even on Okinawa, which was big by Japanese was big by Pacific War standards. It was still very small. And here's Tinian and Guam, and I'm having trouble for some reason finding Okinawa, which should be right here, right in front of me. But you can see here, look at the Okinawa. It's a big island, the whole 10th Army on it, and yet here's Shuri Castle. So they, it's like really small. So that's the problem. And it's not a fault of the game so much as it's just the challenge of the Pacific Theater. And I don't know how you could possibly meet it except have an incredibly complicated game where you'd have a strategic level and an operational/tactical level. And I mean, I don't know how you would do that. Nobody else does either because nobody's made it. So you can have a lot of fun with this. It is very difficult to match history in this game. I could never follow the Allied plan of having the 2 converging drives, under Nimitz and Halsey, who had the one drive across the islands, and then you had MacArthur going up through into the Philippines. I could never do that and get to Japan on time. So my plan basically was I would sort of start off down here. I would mess around a little bit with Guadalcanal, but then I'd drive across the northern part, take some of these islands, probably take Saipan and Guam and Ulithi, and then Iwo, and then use this as the sort of the jumping off point to invade Japan. So you can do it that way. Meanwhile, of course, you are dealing with the China war and the war in the Burma and India. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. So it's a challenging game. It's a good game. The mechanics are simple. The challenge is the scale of this game and the forces that you fight, and the fact that, again, you're trying to simulate these island campaigns, which were operational at best, tactical, and you're doing it on a strategic level. So it's a problem. And I can't blame the game for that because it's just the nature of the beast. But it's a good game, and I had a lot of fun with it. And then finally, yep, we'll take that away. Finally, we've got Patton Drives East. Now, this is pretty much a fantasy, right? It deals mostly with things that might have happened or could have happened. Some people might even say should have happened, but they didn't happen. Now, this, of course, here's the Prelude to War. This is Operation Sea Lion. You got Sledgehammer, early cross-channel invasion. What if the Western Allies accepted a German surrender and together they attacked the Germans? Okay, fantasy scenario, there you go. Patton Drives East, or Patton's Dream. This is where, at the end of the war, we declared war on the communists and we attacked them. Stalin Drives West is the exact opposite. They attack through Western Europe and conquer Western Europe, or try to. Neptune, what if they had captured Europe and England, the communists? Could we, or no, I'm sorry, these are the Nazis. Could we have invaded and freed the UK? And now here's one where they've conquered France. Britain's opted out of the war. What happens if they decide to invade America, which they will do? And then you've got the crisis and another later, slightly late. Actually, this is Sea Lion in 1940. Up here, this was Sea Lion in 41. And then this game, Turkish invasion of Cyrus, is kind of like, yeah. So let's just take a look at this one. Because this game, Patton Drives East. Now, I played a lot of these, and I had a lot of fun with a lot of them. The one where the Russians attack and drive west in 1945, man, they just chew you up so fast. This is what it looks like on the main front here. And you notice the Allies have 1 armored unit. The Russians have 4 that you can see, and who knows how many that you can't see. You notice the front stretches down here because some of this will come into play later. So you got to keep all this in mind. This is a strategic game. Here's your scale game. I'm sorry, I can't talk today. Here's your a lot of your air power for the Allies, the bombing fleets, plus all of this. And of course, you can research. As you can see, if you're the Americans, for example, your heavy tanks got a long way to go. Your aircraft have got a long way to go. Your bombers have a ways to go. And over here, you'll notice that motorization, you've got 2 levels of motorization, and you're currently only at 1. So you got to get busy on all this stuff. And then I've played this game several times, and one of the best games I've ever played was this game one particular time where the Allies just smashed into the Russians, fought it out. Patton ended up, because of where his HQ is, which is right here, led the drive down through the Balkans, just ripped through the Balkans, ripped up the Russians, and turned and came out here. About the time that he was driving on Odessa and Kiev, the rest of the Allied forces pushed past Warsaw and into Russia. So it was almost like Barbarossa II. And at the end of the game, man, they smashed up to Leningrad, Moscow, and just cleaned their clocks. It was a great game. Wasn't great history, but it was a great game. And I mean, after all, we are playing games here, so we want to have fun, right? Well, I hope so. Yes, I really want to quit. Okay, so let's take a look at one more. What do we want to look at? Let's look at this one, because this is pretty wild. And you'll see how things start. So here we go. We got a cruiser in the States. We got a cruiser over here. Soviets have overrun France. Look at this. Spain, Italy, and Turkey signed a mutual defense treaty. However, Attlee, who took over after Churchill, makes a deal and signs a friendship pact with Stalin. Meanwhile, the French are ready to go to war. They've joined the Allies. So you got this weird situation where you've got some of these countries joining together. You've got all these Russians here, and guess where they're headed? And look at this. Look at the United States. Here's Washington, D.C., of course, but look at how far the country stretches. All the way back to the Rockies. There's Denver. Unfortunately, the western part of the country where I live is not important, so it's not there. But oh well, no hurt feelings. There you go. So maybe you take a shot at that. See what you want to do with that. So it's a lot of fun. And like I said, at the start of this, in terms of bang for your buck, I mean, think about it. Yeah, these are older games, so the graphics are older. The display is weird. If you have problems with your display on this, like I did, I actually put something on the forum about it because I needed a little help. Because if you get the display really out of whack, you can't change it because the game won't load. That's what happened to me. Once I figured out how to redo that file and you load the game, then you can go to settings and you can change whatever you want. So that's how that works. So that's it, guys. I highly recommend this. If you think this would be fun for you at all, why not? $20, 3 entire games. You can't beat it in terms of bang for your buck. So that's my recommendation, and I'm thinking of doing a video playthrough of Patton Drives East. So let me know what you think about that in the comments below. And until next time, this is the Wargaming Guy saying thanks for watching, take care, and I will see you later.